Welcome back to the dojo, y'all. Welcome back to the daily discussions. I'm your host, Professor Hawk Sensei, if you're nasty. Glad you joined me. Glad you tuning in. Today, what I want to talk about is why I hate being right. Yep. I hate being right. Now, if you're wrong more often than not, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. And if you're somebody who's right more often than not, you probably know where I'm coming from. But if you aren't familiar with what I'm talking about, I want to share a little bit of this experience with you. No, I'm not always right, but more often than not, I am. However you want to feel about that statement, feel free to let me know. Okay, so the first reason why I hate being right is because people just simply going to hate you because you're right. Because you were able to foresee what was coming down the path they were going. Because you were able to analyze the situation for what it was and tell them exactly how it's going to turn out. They going to hate you for it. All you really did was give them a heads up. You only told them how this situation could end. That's all you did. Or maybe you told them something you saw in someone they were seeing, or somebody that they interact with. Like, man, you know that person ain't no good for you. They don't have your best interests at heart. And when they come to find out the truth, at first they may really, really hate you and dislike you. And it's not because they just hate you or dislike you. No. It's because they hate that you were right. They hate that you were right. And like I say all the time, ignorance is bliss. I don't even know if I made a discussion about that, but I probably should. But all in all, that hatred that comes from you being right, or you telling somebody what's to come, it's really not your fault. It's the insecurities within somebody else at play. They hate that you are right. It makes them angry. They begin to seethe with hatred. Like, how did he know? How could he tell? I really don't know what that's about. But this is something that you can expect when you're right. You know, when you're somebody who's always right, it also makes people want to distance themselves from you. Because they realize all the times when you talk, you end up being right. They'd rather just not know. Because everything that you learn and everything that you know, you are now responsible for. You're held accountable for it once you know it. You may not be held accountable by other people, but you most certainly will be held accountable by the divine, by the Most High, by the universe, whatever you subscribe to believe in. Right? Being right, more often than not, it's perceived as an attack. It's perceived as an insult to somebody else's intelligence. That's how it comes off. You know what I mean? But you still may end up in the same situation when somebody comes to you and asks for your advice. Now, that simply may be because they may not like the way that you delivered the information, or they may not like the fact that you don't like who they're dealing with or what they're doing or whatever. You know what I mean? Sometimes the truth hurts. I talked about it in another video. Telling them the truth may be what makes them dislike you. You know what I mean? That's really the epitome of being right. People will just dislike you and distance themselves from you because they rather just not know. Ignorance is bliss. It truly is. And when you come across people like that, you cannot help them. They don't want help. And for you to be trying to force your help onto them, that's also an offense. That's also an insult. I didn't ask for your help. I don't want you around me. I don't want your help. I don't want your influence. I don't want your advice. I don't want nothing from you. You know what I mean? It can come to situations like that just because you're right. Ultimately, in your mind, you may feel as though you're helping this person, but they don't want your help. You're intruding into their privacy. They didn't ask you for help. They don't want your help. Leave it at that. Leave it at that. Right? Being right is not what it's not what it's cracked up to be. You know what I mean? You can be right or you can be in love. You can be right or you can have friends. You see what I'm saying? Being right sometimes repels people. Now, here's another side to that same coin. The people who appreciate constructive criticism, they appreciate guidance. No matter how it's delivered, they can see that help is being delivered or being served. They recognize that. So they appreciate it. You'll get people like that too who be like, man, thank you. I really ain't even see it. I didn't even know. Or they'll be like, yo, for real, man? You really think she cheating on me? Or like, bro, I'm trying to be honest with you, man. If you don't believe me, that's okay. Just keep living. Keep taking your time and you'll see whether I'm right or wrong. Because I'm really just speculating. I don't truly know. But the vibe that I get, it seemed a little off. And I just figured I'd let you know that. You know what I mean? There are people who will appreciate the heads up. That's a pro of being right all the time. People will seek you out for your advice, but that could also be a con. You may not want to be bothered, or may get to the point where somebody constantly comes to you for advice to where it's annoying. They're badgering you. That's one reason why I dislike being right. Because there are people who will literally seek you out and ask you, question you, as if they don't have the ability to find the answers themselves or to consult with the Most High. You can't put me or somebody you think is a great advisor before the Most High. You can't do that. You can't do that. Because that person will be punished because you want to idol them. You want to be in a state of idolatry. He said you ain't supposed to have no gods before him. So don't look at me or nobody that you admire like that. Because God will punish them. You didn't know. You didn't know. But God will punish them. But anyway, taking it a step further. Well, why I dislike being right all the time is literally seeing BS or seeing bullshit coming a mile away and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Because it would take other people agreeing with you or seeing what you see to get something done. That's one of the worst things about being right. You think back to the Bible with the flood and Noah's Ark. People ridiculed this man. People laughed at this man. He said, I'm building an ark because a great flood is coming. People kept passing by every day. When's that flood coming, Noah? I see you still working on it out. When's that flood supposed to be coming, man? Yeah. Everybody laughed up until the day where it started to rain and it didn't stop. That's something you're going to have to deal with if you want to be right. The alternative is just don't say nothing. Just keep it quiet. Just keep it quiet. Mind your business. Let people think what they want to think. It ain't your place to judge. It ain't your place to tell them what to do. If they want to be a disciple, if they want to follow and learn, okay, then you do that. But until then, let people do what they going to do. Unless they explicitly ask for your help, there's no need for you to be right. There's no need for you to be right. Because sometimes being right will make enemies. Being right will make things harder for you. Being right will cause you to be ostracized and outcast. I'm not telling you to be wrong, but sometimes it's just better to just be quiet or be to yourself. What's understood don't need to be explained. So before I wrap up the video, before I close it, before I shut it down, I want you to think twice about always trying to prove yourself right, or always trying to one-up somebody, or always trying to tell people and, allow them not to make their mistakes. Don't do that. You gotta let people make their own mistakes. You gotta let people experience situations for themselves so they can be right in their own accord and at their own time. You know what I mean? You can steal somebody's joy when you take away the discovery of a lesson. Sometimes you have to allow people to understand and learn at their own time and at their own pace. Because they may never get it otherwise. So, think twice about being right. Let other people be wrong so they can make their own situations right. Like I said before, unless they explicitly ask you for help, let them figure it out. Hope you're waking up every day with a plan, purpose, and a smile. If you're not waking up with a plan, purpose, and a smile, hey, at least you're waking up. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Go ahead and leave a like. I know you like this one. Share the video because I know you're not stingy or selfish. There's plenty of other people who love to hear this and need to see this. And last but not least, subscribe. Because you came back too many times not to push that button. Fuss Hawk signing out. Class dismissed. Till next time, guys.